Good evening, one and all. Welcome to El Tel Cockerel for this show called Leeds Reveal, and we have two lovely guests today. I have Stu and Lee from the disabled team and Lee Statham TV. Good evening, and I have Jesse from Jesse Talks Football. How are you guys?
Good.
Yeah, I'm really good. Is that questions over? Can we go now?
We haven't even started yet. We're not even getting warm. We're not even
Me and
getting
Stu are though.
For people that are joining us backstage, these two are just like fingers and thumbs thinking, what am I going to ask them? What am I going to ask them? It's going to be nothing too tedious. So, yeah, it's not going to be nothing too tedious. You're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. You'll absolutely smash it. You'll absolutely smash it. But before we start, let me say hello to some people. And without a shadow of a doubt, I knew there'd be quite a few Leeds people in here because it is Leeds orientated, this show. So you got Jesse's here and also says smash up the likes. You've got Danny Rumsey's here. Good evening, Danny. Stacey's here. Good evening, Stacey. Adrian Stroker. If you love Spurs and hate Arsenal, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. You've got Marcus here. Good evening, Marcus. You've got Potato Stew here. Good evening, Potato Stew. We have Tony from Early Doors Football TV saying good evening to all you guys. You got Peacock Whites of LFUFC here. Hello, Peacocks. You have Ben Kaufman here saying yeah right everyone, and you got Smithy's here saying big up crew, and
Yeah.
that's what we've got at the moment. So, where shall I start? Where shall I start? Stew. I could hear just saying stew. Right. It's quite easy. It's just a bit to find. So what it is that Stu I've known for a while, as I keep saying to people. I've known him for a while. And Jess for coming up to I don't know, it's 3 weeks now. And it was just a case of getting to find out a bit more. People tend to know about me and about anyone on our channels because we've been doing it for ages, for months and months. But just wanted to get people to get a feel about you two. And I thought, even though we're a Spurs channel, I wanted to do a Leeds one because we've got quite a few Leeds friends now, and I thought it was interesting to do one. But doing it away from your channel and doing it here on a different channel altogether in a different supporters group to find out a bit more about you both. So it's not tedious. I promise you now. I promise you now, it's not tedious. Right. So the first question I've got for you, right, Stu, why Leeds?
I blame my father and I blame the club. I've always said this, Josie. The club chooses you. I used to go watch Bradford City when I was younger. Being in Bradford, I was brought up with my stepfather and my mother. When I started to see my real father, he took me to my first Leeds game, and someone just grabbed hold of me, and I've been up to ever since. I think I was about 6 year old when I went to my first Leeds game.
Jesse, why Leeds?
Well, I'm from Grimsby originally. I was born in Grimsby. I moved to Leeds when I was 4, so I never really got into football till I was about 9 or 10. And because I lived in Leeds at the time, I just seemed to follow Leeds. Everybody knows I've got a little soft spot for Liverpool as well. I'll make no bones. But yeah, for me, Leeds, growing up as a kid, it were always Leeds. So it just kind of stuck. I went to a fair few games when I was younger as well. And yeah, it's just kind of stuck. Leeds, it's better than Grimsby. I always class myself as Yorkshire, even though I'm not from Yorkshire. So yeah, Leeds has always been with. And I live what, 10 minutes, if that, away from Ellen Road. So yeah.
But your accent is more Yorkshire than Grimsby.
Yeah. I've picked the
I was
Yorkshire
gonna say.
accent up, but I've been here, 29 years. But my
Yeah, I was gonna say.
mum's brother's massive Leeds. But my mum is also Leeds as well. And they had, when they were growing up, so it's kind of always just stuck Leeds.
Interesting. So was that a bad start? The first question.
No, that was all right. We coasted through that one, Stuart.
Are you right, Stu?
Yeah, I'm just worried about how much harder they're going to get because my head's already hurt. Uh,
I'll go back. I'll go back. Let me go. I'll tell you what. I'm going to start with Jess now. All right, and then I'll go to you, Stu. Right. So, Jess, earliest memories of Leeds. Your earliest memories.
My earliest memories of Leeds probably 2000 upwards. Peter Reid, Venables, Gray. Leeds getting to semi-finals at Champions League is probably my main thing, and obviously what happened there. Yeah, and then the season after we obviously got relegated. They're
So,
my earliest memories of
was
Leeds.
you young? Was you in your teens? What was you when all that
I'd
was
have
happening for you?
been 12 or 13 at the time. Yeah.
So by then you know your football at that age group. At that age, you do know your football. It's not like we're really, really young. In your teens, you're going to know about your football.
That's very true. Yeah, Champions League 2000, 2001, probably UEFA Cup 99, 2000 for me were probably the first time I really took an interest with Leeds United. David O'Leary time, and then obviously what happened after. But yeah, my earliest memory is probably UEFA Cup and Champions League for me, for Leeds United.
So some good footballing years for you then.
Yeah.
Your earliest
when
memories.
Leeds were, a big club at that point, between 2000 and 2004 were my probably best years until we got promoted again in 2020.
And same for you, Stu. Your earliest memories of Leeds.
The very first game my dad took me to, it was against Man United at home. We were in Cup. I was only young. We won 3-1. We won 3-1. So I must have been. That must have been in the late 80s, early 90s for me. Yeah, about that time. I remember us winning 3-1. We were at home. 1995, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And that were over Christmas period as well. I remember because it was the first Christmas I spent with my dad, with my proper dad anyway. So about 1995, 1996 season.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first ever game, and that's when I got, as I says, that's when I got hooked with Leeds and followed results as best as I could ever from then.
Varying. So my next question then is, and what I'm going to do is I am going to let the chat put some questions in later. But my third question is, and I'll start now with Stu. Tell me about 91, 92, Stu.
91, 92. But last year we won League One, wasn't it? Old League One title before we become Premier League.
It became the Premier League the following season. So tell me about 91,
so
92.
It's one trophy no one can take off us. We were the last team to win it that year.
So tell me about it. Do you remember that season?
I remember where I was. I were at a place called Cannon Mills in Bradford, going around charity shop. It was like a car boot sale back then. So 1990, I were 11 year old. Yeah, I were 11 in 1991. I were at a car boot sale.
But obviously you were following Leeds by then. So do you remember the season though?
Not really, because like I says, it was. I was brought up with my stepfather back then.
All right.
And my stepfather were a Liverpool fan, but wasn't really a football fan. He was. So we didn't have a lot of football in the house. I want to allow. It wasn't a thing we got involved in much as a family. It was just through school friends and stuff how we got involved. Back then, like I says, I was 11 year old.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you look older than that, Stu. Jose, I thought you knew.
No, I
Yeah, older. I know. I look older, but I'm not. I'm only 43.
And Jesse, do you remember 91, 92? I know you were probably too young, but I'm just saying, obviously, as growing up being a Leeds fan, people will talk about 91, 92.
Vaguely, Jose. Vaguely. Can remember Chapman and McAllister. Well, I'd have been 2, Stuart. It's me. I'd have been, because I'm a bit younger than you, just a little bit, but I can remember players from that kind of era, McAllister, Speed, Strachan, stuff like that. remember us going back up, but it's very
Out of
vague for
form and
me.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So, Jess, I'm now coming to you then, right? Tell me about 2003 and 2004,
Oh,
Jess.
awful, to be honest. Not a nice place to see your club go. Relegation.
So this was the end of the years that you grew up on, as you were saying. You grew up on the David O'Leary. Was it David O'Leary years?
Peter Reid were there one day as well. Eddie Gray. There were a
He's
few
still
at
there,
that
is Eddie
area.
Gray. Still hanging
Yeah.
around club like a bad smell, isn't
We speak to many Leeds United fan. Obviously, we know relegation, financial crisis. Not dark days for Leeds. Dark days.
he? Like
To watch your
that,
club go from
14 years it took us, didn't it, to get back? 14 years.
Hold on, I'm
16,
gonna 16 years.
16,
I've got a question on
16,
that.
Stu.
I've got a question on that as well. Please hold on. Let's not get. I'm
I'm
taking it all
fire,
in order.
Stuart.
I'm taking it all in order for you.
I mean, we'd only avoided relegation the season before, just. And then you knew it were going to be another season of struggles. We were in like £100 million debt. We sold all his best players.
So
They
one of
sacked
them to
Peter
a
Reid,
50.
didn't they? Well, in November, they sacked Peter Reid. We were 8 points from his first 12 games, I'm sure it was.
Pete-
Daniel,
yeah,
quote me if I'm
Peter,
wrong.
Peter Reid left on the 10th of November
Yeah.
2003.
And Eddie Gray got brought in then, didn't he, on a temporary basis?
Eddie Gray came in till the
Yeah.
31st of May 2004.
But then with turn at year, we lost 7 on bounce, didn't we?
You won under Eddie Gray. He was managed 26 times. You won 6, drew 7, lost 13
Yeah.
under Eddie Gray.
When we lost to Bolton, for me, when it confirmed relegation on 2nd of May. Yeah. That's it. It wasn't nice, and it took so long for Leeds to get back into Premiership. And that first season we did all right, and then obviously yet again it happened to Leeds. But yeah, it was a dark day, Jose, and I were only 14 at the time. But no, sad times, sad times.
But as you said, from when your earliest memories are of the golden years, if you like, when you bought a golden team, because you did at that time, you bought a golden team. It's quite different buying a golden team that you did then compared to your team that won the first division. Somewhat a decade earlier, 91, 92, when you won the season that season. But the team that you had in 2000 up to 2004, like you say, that was bought, wasn't it? And lots of money was spent on creating that team. But it was an exciting team to watch at the time. And if you weren't a Leeds supporter back then, Leeds became your second club because of the kind of football you were playing even back then in that 4-year spell that you're talking about. A lot of people admired Leeds for the football they played and for the team and squad that they had back then as well. What are your memories, Stu, the 2003, 2004, or what led up to it?
Well, for me, I tell you what did it for me. I think our problem started from that loss in semi-final at Champions League with Galatasaray when two Leeds fans got stabbed over there. I think if we'd have won that semi-final, I'm not saying that we would have gone on to win the Champions League by any stretch, but I think our problem started from them because we spent that. Peter Ridsdale spent all that money letting O'Leary generate that squad he had with Ferdinand and everyone in it, and I think we would have gone on to possibly even win the Premier League, but that semi-final took it out of us, and that's when I think that's from the year before. That's when our problem started badly.
But yeah, as you say, yeah, you had some glory years. You did have some glory years for the years that just anyway. You did have for 4 or 5 seasons, and it was a team that was bought, made up, and they were young players as well. I mean, you had some old heads, but you brought a lot of youngsters into your team, if I remember rightly. You brought a hell of a lot of young players, and over the 2 or 3 seasons, they all gelled together, so they all grew together, kind of thing. And you ended up having a fantastic side. Obviously, in 2003, 2004, you got relegated, and then after that, there was a fire sale. You had to sell your players, didn't you?
Yeah, I remember
Mm.
Smithy going to Man United.
Going to Liverpool.
Q, Viduka went, didn't he? He already had his bags packed before, didn't he? He was ready to go.
Viduka was still there in 2003, 2004, though, with Viduka. Until we got relegated with Viduka.
Mm.
If you look at that squad that they had in 2003, 2004, they had Jermaine Pennant there on loan. Nick Barmby, Viduka, Radiby, Art, Kelly.
We had some good players, didn't we? But we still went down, didn't we?
Yeah.
Lee Bowyer, Alfie Haaland, Paul
Woodgate
Robinson,
there as well, wasn't
Jonathan Woodgate, Eric Backer,
he? Yeah.
Danny Mills, Michael
Aaron
Bridges,
Lennon,
Michael
Paul
Bridges,
Robinson.
Jason
Paul
Wilcox,
Robinson were our keeper, wasn't he? Yeah,
Viduka,
bloody hell.
Dominic Matteo, Matthew Kilgallen, Rio Ferdinand, Robbie Fowler, Fraser Richardson, James Milner, Aaron Lennon. Towards the end, you had
Sure.
David Healy, Paul Butler, Neil Sullivan, Danny Pugh.
Danny Pugh.
Yeah, and then you had players obviously that had been there before that as well, hadn't you? So, right, so you get relegated, bad times, low point, you get relegated from the Premiership, and then you had, which is probably the most barren time, and I've called it 16 barren years. It's probably the worst time that Leeds have had in their footballing history was a 16-year spell. What are your memories of the 16 years?
Getting relegated to League One for the start.
Yeah. But remember, League One though, we had some really good players, you know. In League One, we had a better team in League One, but then remember when we got promoted from League One to Championship? I think we had better players in that League One team. Can't remember the name of that. What were he called? Played for France.
Not
It's a
Decor.
popular name. No, I forgot his name.
A Leeds player. What year? What when you was in the champ? Was you was in League One?
When we were in League One, yeah.
Okay, so you was in League One in 2007 to 2010.
About 25 point deduction, Stuart. That's another blow in them 16 years, all them points we lost.
I remember somewhat Chris Miles brought out about that.
You said you had a what? A French player.
I'm sure he was French.
Decor, Stu.
No, that's what I said.
Okay, well, it'll come at me. It'll come at me with what his name was. He might be.
You had Eddie Lewis,
no,
Manuel Rui Marquez, Jonathan Douglas,
Treasure
Jonathan Howson,
Candle,
Jermaine Beckford, Fabian Delph, Casper Ankaran.
Maxwell Gradle. That were Gradle.
Isn't he Ivory Coast? Gradle.
Ivory Coast. He's Ivory Coast. Yeah, he's Ivory Coast.
Is he Ivory Coast? Well, I thought I thought he was French. He was a good player, Ivory Coast.
They speak French in Ivory Coast. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
You had Ross.
What about Ken Bates, Stu?
To be fair though, if it wasn't for him, I think club would have gone under. Jess.
Do you reckon?
I think so. Yeah. You know
it was
what
administration for me that killed me.
So in that League One side, you had Casper Angeran, Andrew Hughes, Neil Kilkenny, Bradley Johnson, Robert Snodgrass, Luciano Becchio,
yeah.
Aidan White, Tom Lees, Max Gradle, Ross McCormack.
We had some decent players.
Do you remember with the 16 barren years, right? I'm going to touch upon it because it's part of the history of but during the barren years, right, that you went down. Do you remember your managers that you had? Starting with, you went down, so you got to start with Kevin Blackwell and then make your way forward. Do you know? I looked at your managers and God, did you have?
Dennis Wise were in there, wasn't he? Dennis Wise were in there, wasn't he?
Yep, Dennis Wise was in there.
With Gus Poyet were his assistant, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Simon Grayson, you know, we can't forget Simon Grayson.
I'll tell you in order you had. You had Kevin Blackwell, John Carver, David Geddes, Dennis Wise, Gwyn Williams for one match. Then you had Gary Mack, Simon Grayson, Neil Redfern, Neil Warnock, back to Neil Redfern again, Brian McDermott, Dave Hockaday.
Hockaday, yeah.
Then Neil Redfern for a third time. Then you had Darko Milanic.
He wasn't
Never-
there long, no worry.
No, I won't.
6 matches, 1 month. He was there
Yeah.
for 6 matches. Then Neil Redfern for a fourth time. Then you had Uwe Rossler.
I think Gary Monk in there, wasn't he there? At times,
Yeah,
sometimes?
Steve Evans, Gary
Steve
Gary Monk, Thomas Christiansen,
Thomas Christiansen, yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
had Paul Heckingbottom.
Well, the thing with Heckingbottom, he was tipped to be pretty good, but he didn't do all for us. And then but somehow we managed to get Sheffield United promoted to Premier League. But he didn't do nothing for us. Neil Warnock.
Yeah, he took over Grayson, didn't he? Warnock.
Yeah, Redfern took over Grayson for 4 games, and then it was Warnock came in after that. So Paul Heckingbottom. So with Paul Heckingbottom, you didn't get promoted, did you? You were still in Division 1 with Heckingbottom, because Heckingbottom only managed you for 16 games. You won 4, drew 4, lost 8, and then he left, and then the mercurial one came in, Mr. Bielsa.
Mm.
Yeah, well, when he first come in, the infection, the infection he had on not just on Leeds, but on not just on the team, but on the entire city, it were remarkable. Honestly, how we got that team playing the way they were playing, because I think we finished the season before Bielsa come. I think we were 14th or 15th,
yeah,
something like that.
13th in 2017-18.
Yeah, and then he didn't exactly make many additions, didn't Bielsa neither. And
no,
he had they all seemed to buy into him straight away. I mean, when he come to Leeds, I didn't know who the hell he was. I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't know who he was. But then you had managers like Pep Guardiola, Poch, all speaking highly of him, with his philosophy and stuff like that. And so as soon as you hear them managers speak, you're onto a winner. But I didn't realise. I thought it might. I didn't think we'd get so close in that first season under him. I thought it might take 2 years for him to get us up, which it did. But I didn't think we were going to have that season what we had when he first come into Leeds. Everything
you finished third. You finished third in his first season.
Yeah, we lost to Derby in playoffs. We were flat. We should have won we played them away first and then at home, and we just capitulated. It was a mistake by Kiko Casilla.
Because they missed out on Dan James, in that January transfer window. We missed out on Dan James, didn't we? We sat at Leeds, and he never got signed over the line. Did he end up going back to Swansea that season?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because we played Swansea after that, and then Leeds fans started singing to him. Dan James is one of us. Wanted to come up with us or something. Yeah.
So you finished third.
Didn't we have a lot of injuries that season, though, Stu? And we had loads of players out for playoff campaign, didn't we, in that first one? We lost 4-3 on aggregate, didn't we, to Derby in that one?
Yeah, because we were up, we were flying. Even after first half at Ellen Road return leg, we had a 2-goal lead. We had a 2-goal lead on aggregate or something. We just fell apart.
Yeah, because we took a 1-0 lead to Ellen Road, didn't we? We'd won 1-0 at Guy Park, yeah.
Then I think we took the lead in first half to make it 2-0.
Yeah. And we ended up losing 4-2, wasn't it? And both teams got a red card in that game. I'm sure it was. I'm sure we did.
I think you're right.
Because I think when Belisa first come in, he had all Leeds players picking rubbish up, didn't he? When he first come into Leeds United, did Marcelo Belal?
Yeah.
I'm right, yeah. So I question your own brain sometimes.
You finished third that season, Bielsa's first season. Do you know who your top goal scorer was in Bielsa's first season?
I'm assuming it would have been Bamford.
Nah, not in his first season.
No, the guy who was at Rangers now.
That's right.
Yes, I can't think of it. Roof, Kemar Roof. That's
So
it.
Roof was
Question
your top.
myself.
Roof was the top goal scorer the season before that when you finished 13th as well. You got 14 when you finished 13th, and you got 15 when you finished third. Right, so you finished third, you just miss out that season, and then 1920. What happened in 1920?
Well, we got promoted.
We went up.
But you didn't just get
COVID
promoted, you won the league.
Indeed.
Yeah.
You won the league.
Because COVID, that was the season of COVID.
COVID,
We won the league without the fans being in stadium. But they were all gathered outside stadium for that open top bus they had.
Wow. Did you go?
No, I didn't know about it. I don't. Before I didn't do social media, and I didn't know. I didn't know. I don't. You get the Leeds fans who read anything and everything about Leeds United. You know what I mean? I just go on what I see.
Yeah.
I go on people who are watching YouTube and stuff for information. But yeah, I didn't know. But yeah, they had an open. I remember because they couldn't wait to get out of that stadium and go on that open top bus. What they had just outside ground. I wish I did go, but by the time we couldn't have any gatherings. We couldn't have any crowd gatherings. So that's why I didn't think they were going to be out on. But you were mad. I remember
parties. We by 10 points, didn't we, Stu? 10 points? West Brom come second.
We won it at a canter, yeah. We won it at a canter.
So Bielsa comes. He's the mercurial one. He comes, and Daniel put a comment in earlier because I've read the comment, but because I'm trying to get through the questions, I've not answered the chat. But Daniel said that Bielsa was a architect, like Jess said earlier, but he was an architect for a lot of the present day managers. A lot of their theories and the way they play football were because of Bielsa's teachings, if you like. Daniel says one of the philosophers of football is Bielsa. He created a template for so many elite managers, which is quite right, and they all attest to this, don't they? All the managers turn around and say, well, Pochettino, like you said, Stu, Pochettino, Guardiola, amongst others, have turned around and said that the way that they play football and a lot of the involvement of what they do is because of what Bielsa did and what Bielsa taught them or what they got from Bielsa. So Bielsa comes along, right? He wins you the league. You finish third. You just miss out, but then you go up as champions. So I'll go. Who should I go to, Stu or Jesse?
Whoever.
Right, let me go to Jesse. Right, the three Premiership seasons, because you was in the Premiership for 3 years.
Yeah.
So in the first season, 2020-21, you finished. So who was your the top league scorer for you in the Championship when you won the league?
Roof won it when we won it in the league.
No, when you finished third, it was Roof. The following season, when you won it,
Bamford.
Yes,
Bamford, because he scored
16. However, Bamford was also your top goal scorer in your first season in the Premiership with 17.
17, that's it. Yes.
Yeah. So tell me about the 3 years in the Prem. What the first season that you had Bielsa, you finished 9th in the division.
Yeah. Remember that first game they played against Liverpool? Give us a good game, 4-3. Great game. Yeah. Good first season for me, Stu. But did we suffer with burnout because of Belisa's play? Yes. But great first season.
Second season, a lot of people said it was because they didn't have fans in the stadium, but I don't believe that. I think it was just a good place to be.
You had a young team as well, didn't you? You had a lot of young players that were being gelled together or had been gelled together from the Championship, and then you made a few. Yeah. You sprinkled a few, didn't you? You bought a few signings for your first season in the Premiership.
Rafinha, we brought him in the first season, didn't we?
Yeah. And we got some good draws in that first season. Man United at home, Chelsea, Liverpool, and we got victories against Tottenham that season at home, and Manchester City.
How'd you get on with Tottenham away that season?
So bet you're
Don't
at home that season, Jose.
have, okay, don't have to answer that one. Don't have to answer that one.
We're on a mutual.
So yeah, the 3 Premiership seasons, Stu. First season finishing 9th.
Do you know, when we finished 9th, I think that could have been a bit of a the downward spiral started at Leeds, because the club, I remember we didn't bring anyone in after that first season. We didn't push on, we didn't go again, and it cost us. The second season, it cost Bielsa his job. Let's be honest. But do you know what the worst thing was with that second season, though? None of the Leeds fans really wanted Bielsa to be sacked. None of
I
them.
agree.
We were all behind.
Who made the decision for Bielsa to go then? If it wasn't the fans and it wasn't the
Well,
players, were the players still playing for him?
Yeah, well, they were trying for him. Yeah, definitely. He didn't look dressing room. No, he didn't look dressing room. The problem, look, the problem was Bielsa even said it himself. The squad needed freshening up, and we just didn't do it. And,
no.
You know, and playing Bielsa's system, it's a bit like. I mean, I've always sort of thought about Ange being like Bielsa, being all attack. Don't worry about the defending. And I think the problem was we just burnt the players out. I mean, we lost Phillips, we lost Rafinha. You know, we lost 2. And Phillips were in England set up by then. He was an established England player. Rafinha, we lost him. And I think that cost us. I really do. We didn't replace quality with quality.
So
not in that third season, we didn't know.
So in the second season, right, when you finished 17th, is that the season that
That's the season Bielsa got sacked.
Bielsa got sacked on February 27th, didn't he, in 2022? But he'd only lost 4. Yeah, but Stu, what bugged me there? We only lost 4 games. I know we conceded 17 in them 4 games, but it were only 4 games.
It was because they were trying to sell us American Dream, weren't they?
Yeah, but it didn't work, did it? That's where it went sour, didn't it, for me? I don't know about you, but that's where it went tits up, putting it politely.
He got away with it, did Marsh in the second season when we should have gone down. But it was Geltard's last-minute goals against Norwich and stuff what saved us. We were looking to avoid relegation then. Now, I remember for a fact I was crying out for him to be sacked, Marsh, end of that season, but we didn't. We kept going with him. We give him his second season, and that's where it all started going wrong.
So Marsh was there for just under a year. Marsh was there from the 28th of February 22 to the 6th of February 23. And his record for you guys was 37 games, 11 wins, 10 draws, 16 losses, 52 goals for, 60 against. Which, in the grand scheme of things, ain't the worst record. But it was just a style of football that he played, weren't it? That completely changed from what you had from Bielsa to Jesse Marsh. Would that be right? Your football changed completely, didn't it? You changed to a completely different playing style, and the players that you brought in were obviously different players to fit a totally different system at Leeds. Would that be fair?
Yeah, I agree. I do, yeah.
So Jesse Marsh comes in, and that was probably you guys are going to tell me that was a poor time for you lot.
Mm.
Do you ever watch Tottenham's press conferences?
Yes. Yeah.
Right, and you listen to Big Ange.
Yeah.
And it's got you're hooked on every word he says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will like us with Bielsa.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch the Jesse Marsh press conference, he talked for half an hour, but by the end of that press conference, you couldn't remember everything he said because I don't know what it was with him. He could sell snow to Eskimos. You know what I mean? He was good in front of press, but you couldn't remember a word he said. He just, there was something about him, even in his press conferences, what I didn't like, to be honest.
Right. So you had Jesse Marsh there, but did Jesse? Okay, so the year that you got relegated is the year that Jesse Marsh got sacked. Is that right?
Yeah, because after Marsh, didn't we bring in that Garcia?
Yeah,
No.
he got sacked on 6th of February, didn't he? Then we brought in somebody else, didn't we? Then he come in for 4 games, didn't he, Sam Allardyce?
You brought in Michael Skubala for 3 games.
Yeah, well, he were our under 21
Under 21 coach, wasn't he?
Then you brought in
He's at Lincoln now.
Javi
Garcia.
Garcia,
Yeah,
who's
he was just too nice. He was too nice for Garcia.
So he played 12. He was there for 12 games, 3 wins, 2 draws, 7 defeats, 15 goals scored for, and 30 against.
Mm.
And then you bought, and yeah, I remember this part. You bought Sam Allardyce in for the last 4 games of the season.
Yeah. What could he do in them 4 games, Jose? We were already gone.
And he got 1 draw and 3 defeats
Yeah.
in his game, and 5 goals scored and 11 conceded. Right. So that was then, right? So you go down, all right?
Yeah.
And then last summer, you decided to hire on the 4th of July Daniel Farker.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So my next question was, so we've reached the next one. The next one was life in a championship, summer thoughts. So what I wanted to ask you, and we've spoken about this on Tottenham channels as well, and I refer back to the last summer as well, because like yourselves, you took on Farker, we took on Ange, right? So I know exactly what my thoughts were last summer, before a ball had been kicked, as soon as we knew who our manager was going to be, before a signing came along. I had my thoughts on how we'd do this year and stuff like that. What were your thoughts when you hired Farker? So you wouldn't have made any signings, you would have hired Farker. What were your thoughts? What did you think you were going to, what Leeds would achieve this year? What were your thoughts? Not knowing what you know now, but what were your thoughts in the summer, if you're honest and truthful? What were your thoughts in the summer?
Well, my predictions beginning at season, the Leeds were going to finish 14th this season. I really did. I thought we were going to finish 14th.
And what were your thoughts behind that? What are your thoughts behind that? Why did you think you were going to finish 14th, Stu?
Well, as ownership changed, didn't it? Ownership changed. Players, we didn't know what players were going to stay with us. We didn't know what players were going to leave us. There were rumours that these players' contracts had release clauses in them. With you know, even when Farker come in, it was the same problem he had. He didn't know what players he were going to have come start season. He didn't even know what players he had in that first till end at some transfer window. It were, you know, when we got Farker in, it were a slice of genius from new owners, you know. And I think we did very well to get someone like Farker in. Now I don't know if Farker knew about the contracts before he agreed to become a Leeds United manager, or if they didn't tell him until after he become a Leeds United manager. Because I remember the first post-match press conference, he said he were absolutely livid with the contracts, and he says this will never happen again. Yeah, because that's why I don't even think he were fully aware of the contracts, what the players had. The players seem to have a better idea of than the new owners did, if I'm honest.
Okay, so I'm going to go to summer thoughts. So I don't know. So that's what you thought initially when you brought Farker in. By the time, what had your thoughts changed? Obviously, you're allowed to make some signage. You're allowed to see players leave before the first ball was kicked of the season. What were your thoughts then? Was it still 14th?
14th, yeah. I thought Farker's got no chance.
After August, we had Stu. I was thinking, 14th.
Yeah, I
had an awful August. That Birmingham game always sticks in my brain.
No, forget playing the match, Jess. It's about the thoughts before a ball's been kicked in the season.
Yeah, well, I thought Farker's been. I thought. Look, we've. I don't know how we've got Farker in, but we've got him in. And we didn't know with the new ownership we're going through. Brad Zarley didn't want to sell the club. He only wanted to sell so much of it, and then he was forced into selling it, and that was before the ball got kicked. So there were a lot of uproar, just like there is a typical Leeds. Typical, you call it typical Spursy, it was a typical Leeds thing when we get relegated. Nobody knew exactly where we were going to be.
And what about you, Jess? Before a ball was kicked, where were your thoughts in the summer?
I said we'd probably finish 10th at best. Even though Daniel Farken had a proven record with Norwich, what he walked into at Norwich were completely different at Leeds. Before the balls kicked in pre-season and everything, he still had players leaving through pre-season, so none of us knew before the ball would be kicked in the start of August who would be there at the end of August. Obviously, players still left, so everything in August before the ball was kicked, it was all up in the air. Still, the Leeds United, we still had players coming in, going out. We didn't know what were going on. So for me, I thought if he keeps us up and we get 10th at best, we've done all right.
Because
it's interesting. I know we were proven.
Yeah, it's interesting because, and that's you two. You're both Leeds supporters, and you're saying exactly where you thought you'd be in the summer. And that's interesting because for me, when I saw the 3 that went down, right, I turned around and said, I turned around, and I'm not a supporter of either of the 3 clubs, but I turned around and said it would be hard for me to see beyond them 3 who comes up. I thought the 3 that went down are the ones that had the golden opportunity of all 3 coming up. Even though all 3 sides would have lost players, you would have gained players, you can loan players and stuff like that. But for me, unless you sold your first 11, all 3 sides sold all their first 11 players. For me, I couldn't look past the 3 that were to come up. So it's interesting that you guys support the team and you want to see your team do well, but that's your thoughts like they were in the summer. Now, with Tottenham, you've got a lot of the fan base. We went back to the summer. Obviously, we'd sold Kane. We got Angie and stuff like that. And a lot of people were saying before the start of the season, we're going to be relegation fodder. Losing 30 goals from Kane means that we're going to be fighting relegation. We're going to be doing this and that. In the summer, I turned around on my streams and I was saying in the summer, you'll be surprised. The football that we're going to play will be totally different to what we've been served up for 4 years. I won't be hiding behind the sofa with me hands over my face, swearing and sweating profusely and wanting to pick up the nearest thing to smash the telly with. I knew I weren't going to get that. And I said, we'll be all right this year. But it's interesting because as a fan base, a lot of people thought negatively about how we were going to get on this season. And that's why it's interesting to ask you the question. So the questions that I'm asking you, the questions that we've asked ourselves about our club.
Especially your pre-season results. Your pre-season, what you had, it wasn't really. You didn't play anyone half decent.
We didn't have a pre-season. We had one game cancelled, one game withdrawn at half time and whatever. We played against the Sailors team.
Sailors team, yeah.
And it was monsoon season. The countries that we went to, it's just the planning was awful. We had no pre-season.
Yeah.
But regardless, without that, I still had my thoughts on what I think we do this year, and that's why it's interesting to ask the same questions of yourselves.
Right. Were you happy when Ange come into Tottenham though?
Yes.
Was it? You were. Yes. You were behind him.
Yeah. I'm. The minute that he was appointed, I was 110 behind him. I still am now. Good, bad, indifferent. I'm 110 behind him. I want and the question. And the question was asked, or someone asked a question on the show earlier when I was going to play football, and I typed back in a message because I had my headphones on, walking to go and play, and I typed the message back and said, do you want Nuno at the club beyond, or do you think Nuno's the one to keep at the club? And I said, look, we've hired them out for 4 years, let him do his 4 years, see where we are towards the end of his 4 years, and then we'll make a decision from there. But for me, you've got to build and you've got to stick with someone. To keep chopping and changing all the time, you're not going to go anywhere. And I've got nothing to I've got no minus against Ange at all. I mean, next season he's going to come in under heavier scrutiny because he would have had 2 transfer windows, and the people are going to really come on to him like a ton of bricks next year. But that's them. That ain't me. Everyone watches football through their own eyes and sees football differently. I'm not going to be a beat 'em up merchant on Ange. So yeah, I want him to see his 4 years if possible, and then see where we are from there. Build with him, see where we get to with him, and see where we are. Right. So questions so far, have they been easy enough?
Yeah, I've been alright.
They've been all right.
Yeah, they're getting easier. They're getting easier now.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a bit more comfortable now.
Fantastic. Well, I've only got a couple left for you, and then I'm going to ask the chat if they've got any questions for you. So my next question, and I'll go to you, Stu. Football involvement. Tell me about you and football. Have you played? Have you refereed? Have you been a linesman? Have you been a coach? What have you done football wise? What's your football involvement been, mate?
Well, I remember when I told you growing up, my stepfather with football, it wasn't really a thing for us, and I always said that when I had my kids, it would be different. And obviously, I've got Liam, who's mainstream, Lee, who's special needs, disabled, and Lee. We used to take Liam to play for I won't. Not a professional club, but FA Charter Standard Club.
Grassroots.
Yeah, grassroots. Yeah, in the proper league and stuff. Liam used to go, but Lee could never get on pitch because he couldn't move like a mainstream person could. So this went on for about 2 years of Liam playing grassroots, and then me and my real father got together and built his own junior football club where we had mainstream and special needs mixed in one. I went for my coaching course badges. I got my first one, and I had my leg amputated, so that put fire to that. So then we ended up getting coaches in at his club what I built, and that sort of FA charter. We got that FA affiliated and stuff like that. And then our kids just grow out of football. So I've been a chairman, a coach, a parent, and doing a bit of linesman and a bit of refereeing for junior football level.
Just being a general dad then.
Yeah. My dream was to get Lee and Liam playing on the same pitch at the same time. And we achieved it. So that's all I wanted.
One ticked off, yeah. Fantastic. Stacey, your football involvement.
Stacey.
Sorry,
Jesse.
No, I've just seen you make a comment to Stacey, and that's what made me say it. Thanks for being here, Stacey. Sorry, Jesse, your football involvement.
I played football for a good 20 years. When I was a kid growing up, women's football was one hour. It wasn't there. It were there weren't even any women's teams where I used to play, so I used to just play with lads on the field. But I did play women's football since I was 20 till I was last year 33. So yeah, I've played all my life. Played against some real good teams. Played at a quite high level at football. I retired last year. My son's obviously gone into football now, so I'm a Sunday mum watching him play football. If they need a referee, I'll help them out and do a bit of reffing as well sometimes if they ain't got a referee. Coached as well. I'm going into coaching in his team next season in under 13s for women's as well. So yeah, I've played at a good high level. Played against Leeds Utd ladies. I've played against Brighouse ladies, Bradford City women. Played at a very high level. Yeah, really good. Enjoyed it. Done tournaments all over the country. Had a real good time of it. And unfortunately, injury came in last year, illness, and obviously can't play anymore. But Harry's took the role over now, and I'm a Sunday mum supporting my lad, and he's very, very good. Very, very good.
What position
did you play? I've seen pictures of you in your football kit, Jess, on that pitch, and honestly, I wouldn't want to go anywhere near you.
I'm brilliant.
You look mean. You look mean. You look the mean player.
I used to play. I was a striker, but I could play goalkeeper as well. So if goalkeeper wasn't available, I could play in that as well. So yeah, I used to play.
One end of the pitch, the other.
Yeah, well, sometimes if we didn't have goalkeeper, it'd be we'll go in net, so I'd play in net, and then if not, and we had goalkeeper, I'd play up front. But yeah,
that's not
got quickest goal in history for my team, 45 seconds.
You might get someone who's a defender who might drop in and bob into the goal, but when you're going from a striker to goalkeeper, they're either ends of the pitch.
Yeah, no, I can. I'm a decent goalkeeper as well, really good.
Fantastic.
If there were a corner coming in, and if you come out shouting, I'm coming football, I'll move out way.
I go in with my head. I've took a few off that line and clearing up with my head as a goalkeeper, seriously. I have. It's got quickest goal in history from Morley Town. 45 seconds I were on pitch and scored. So yeah.
Well, there you go. So with these questions, they are designed for people to find out a bit more about you guys. So yeah, interesting. I found out something. I found a few things out about you guys tonight, and I'm hoping the people in the chat have as well. Right. And my last question before we can throw out to people in the chat if they've got any questions for you is, what's next? So I said I wanted to do this show before you played any more games, because we know there's 5 games left in the season for Leeds. So what's next for Leeds? Where do you think Leeds will end up? What do you need to do? What don't you need to do, and stuff like that. So, yeah, what's next is a question for you two guys.
I think we're in
I
for
mean, it's
look.
easier if you asked me before Coventry game.
Yeah.
We
There's
need
three
a win
teams in
tomorrow
it.
still.
There's 3 teams in it. 3 points separating them. You know, we're currently third. You know,
Leicester have
Ipswich
got a game in hand.
they've played remarkable. Yeah, Leicester have got that game in hand. So I don't think we're going to win title. If at best we're going to finish second, at worst we're going to finish third. I want to finish second. I don't want playoffs. I want to finish second. And I've always said, I said that I'm not bothered about winning league. I just want to get promoted automatically. I'll take second. I would have took second a month ago. I'll take second now. I really would. But it's going to be it's been the most competitive championship I've ever seen at both ends, promotion and relegation. It's been a really good season.
Jess, where are you with this?
Look, I did watch Lumford Coventry game on Saturday, and it were a hard watch. Disappointing. Didn't really turn up, and all credit to Coventry City. They deserved them 3 points. I worry what effect it has on Leeds going into Tuesday, Sunderland at home. Press conference today, a few little injury niggles are coming out as well, Stu, and I just think we'll lose that game to Sunderland. I really have this horrible feeling, and we've got QPR away, which will be a hard game, Stu. They're fighting for their lives. And a Southampton at home last game at Stephen. Yeah, Blackburn at home on Saturday. I just think if we lose tomorrow, and I really don't want to say this, I think we're going to get playoffs. And if we beat Sunderland, I don't think we'll win league because I think I know they've got to win this game in hand. I know everybody says you can't win it though, but I do see that their form's picked back up now. I think Southampton are in playoffs. And I just think it'd be really close between Leeds and Ipswich, like really tight. I'm going to say I hope Leeds go up, but I'm going to go second. But I've got an audible feeling we'll get playoffs, Stuart.
So I asked the question, and I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it again because some people in the chat may not know. So from the 5 games you've got left, I'm led to believe that you have 3 home games and 2 away. Is that right?
Yeah, QPR away.
Do you know what the makeup is for the Ipswich? Have they got 3 and 2? Is it home or away they've got?
I've got them written somewhere. I know I've got something here because I did a predictions thing on it. I've got it written on my notes somewhere.
I think
Ipswich have got the eye to running, haven't they, Stu?
Yeah, they've got some tough games to
right. So Ipswich, so they've got Watford. No, they aren't. Yeah, no, they've got Watford on Wednesday. Then they've got Coventry, Hull City, and Huddersfield. So Leicester are going to have Millwall, Plymouth, West Brom, Southampton, Preston, Blackburn, because they've got that game in hand. And then Leeds have got Sunderland at home, Blackburn at home, Middlesbrough away, QPR away, Southampton at home.
It could go down to that Southampton game as well, you know.
Yeah.
It really could. It's been that close all season. It could go down to that game.
From what you've read out, I think Leicester have got a few banana skins there as well.
Yeah, so they're
playing against teams that are fighting for things as well.
Plymouth are fighting. West Brom are up there. Southampton up there.
Millwall are fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
Millwall are fighting.
Millwall. Well. Yeah, they've got Millwall on Tuesday night, Jose. Because
there's a few of them down there because, as you said, Stu, it's a tough year this year for the people that want to get the promotion spots, and the people for relegation. Apart from Rotherham, who are definitely down, I think the last time I looked, the two teams that are in the relegation spots, between them there's 9 teams that can go down still. They're very, very close on points. So therefore, yeah, you're quite right. There's a lot to play for all the teams. And I mean, I didn't look at the fixtures. I'm just hearing what Jess just had to say, who Leicester have got, and I'm thinking, so hold on. But some of them teams, they're going to be fighting for their lives as well. So that I don't think there are any gimmies for Leicester's fixtures either. So yeah, so it looks like unless one of you, I don't think any of you can go up, right, within the next 3 games. I think it's going to go down to the last game of the season.
I think so as well. I do. I really do.
there's
Alan
going to have to
Ward's
be.
been a bit quiet for me, Stu, in the last couple of games and all. Are we starting to feel the nerves a little bit like,
Yeah.
obviously we were away, but then that last home game we had, I thought the nerves were on. Even though we're better, I thought it was a bit quiet for me. We need to start getting behind boys a bit more down there.
He said that in his press conference today. Just did Farker. He says that the need, the crowd needs to get behind him.
Yeah.
What you tend to find with our club is, at the moment, it's people have got that same stick out to beat Bamford again with it.
Yeah.
It's not something you need. We've won it with 5 games to go now. It's not
I've
something you
seen
need
it.
to
Yeah, it's back to Bamford, back to his words. But every striker goes through what you call a bit of a bad spell. The missed chances, the strikers. I can
Yeah,
speak from experience. We've all missed sitters. Dearie me. Darwin Núñez at Liverpool, how many has he missed as a striker? Quite a few. It is what it is. But you never forget. They never remember anybody else that misses him, like Perot, for example. But it's always Bamford. We don't need that negativity at the minute. Just get behind them and back them to the heels, because if we don't go up this season, I'll be gutted, Stu. Been so close.
If we don't go up this season, Jess, I think it'll be even harder next season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I do think we'll lose some of its players.
I think you got the two. At the moment, it looks like two are going down from the Premiership, and I'm just saying it looks like. I'm not going to say they're definite, but it looks like two are going down, and them two, I think, are already making plans, which is quite iffy to make plans, but they're already making plans for the Championship. So they're doing a plan A and a plan B, but they're putting all their eggs into the basket of a plan B because I don't think they're going to stay in the Premiership. Not on points anyway. What happens with FFP and the hearings and whatever happens at the end of the season after the season's finished, that may determine some spots.
Well, Everton have lost 2 points today, haven't they? Everton have had their 2 points knocked off today.
Yeah, but they're appealing. Forest are appealing. So at the end of the day, if teams end up safe and they appeal and they get hit with more points, they could then maybe not be safe. So who knows? But I think Sheffield United and Burnley are probably got 2 paths, and they're putting a lot of their eggs in the basket that they will be in the Championship next year at the moment, and they're planning already. So when you say after this season, I think it will be difficult for teams because a lot of teams lose more parachute payments that are in the Championship at the moment. But then because the plans are being made by your Burnleys and Sheffield United, then they'll probably still remain strong for next year, so to speak. So then it does become every year becomes harder and harder to get out of the Championship. But as I said, I did feel that the 3 teams that went down this, in my personal opinion, is I thought the 3 teams that went down this year were the ones that were really well equipped to all 3 of them to come back up, and that's even through playoffs. Because I didn't know before the start of the season who's going to finish first, second, third, fourth, fifth. But I thought that the 3 that went down had a great chance of all 3 coming back up. But the season has panned out. We got to where we are. Southampton being the third of the 3rd teams are 4th place. They look like they're going to finish 4th, and they're going to get a playoff spot. Who they play? They'll play the team that finishes 5th, and whoever finishes 3rd will play against the team that finishes 6th. And that's when you start looking at yourselves and start thinking, if you're in them 3rd to 6th spots, you start thinking to yourself, well, how did we get on with them during the season? Because you might end up having 20 more points than the club, but they might have turned you over or got 4 points off you earlier in the season, and that means they've got the boogie on you, didn't they? So it's difficult. So you do want to go up automatically.
I'd fear Coventry in playoffs, me, because I do feel Coventry will
really
get in there. They look. I was so impressed with Coventry on Saturday. I really want. Some Leeds fans go out for me when I call it out and say, "Look, Leeds weren't good enough." I won't say any different. Stu knows what I'm talking about. If I see it as it is what it is. And for me, I'd really worry. And Norwich looked good, Stu. I thought they were good for that 1-0 win on Saturday against Ipswich. They look strong. Wagner's decent. I just want to go automatic. It don't mean it's not the be all and end all to me if we don't go up as winners. 2nd place, done. Get into Premiership, rebuild. And if we stay up first season and we finished 16th, I'd be absolutely over the moon and keep building from there. We're not going to go into Premiership and win every week, Stu. People need to
We're
get
going to lose
used to
more.
it.
We're going to win, I think.
Yeah, exactly. If we just stay up first season, I'm happy. And I get called out for that. But for me, we're realistic fans in it, Stu.
I'd like to think so. I mean, Coventry took 4 points off us this season as well, now, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. 2 of us at home, didn't they?
because that's what tends to happen. You tend to have, and you tend to have that when I feel that in all, not just in the championship, in League One and League Two, the ones that finish in the, and especially the teams that just miss out on the promotion. Say it's been a hard run and you just miss out on the promotion, then you start looking. Shit, there's 4 teams in the playoffs. How did I get on against the other 3? So you know you've got to play one, but there's an opportunity. If you win that game, you're going to play one of the other 2. So you think to yourself, how did we bloody get on against them? And the other thing about the championship, for some strange reason, I don't know why, and I haven't got the facts in front of me, but I recall a lot of the teams that finish in 6th are the ones that end up getting bloody
winning
promoted.
in the playoffs. You're right.
Yeah.
Luton did last year.
Yeah, but they're not the only ones. West Ham did it.
Yeah.
I think, and there's other teams as well that have done it, and you're just like, you know.
And who's currently sat in 6th place at the minute? Norwich City.
Norwich, Coventry are 4 points behind. 4 points behind them with the game
in hand. Yeah. West Brom.
So Coventry sit outside the top 6.
Yeah, they're on 7th. So we've got Norwich, West Brom, Southampton, and Leeds at the minute.
But I think Southampton are so far. Southampton not so far in front of the team that's behind them.
Yes,
Southampton on 75 points with 2 games in hand over West Brom as well.
Yeah, so Southampton
over us as well, aren't they?
Southampton will get a playoff berth, won't they? Quite comfortably.
Yeah. I don't think Southampton will. I think Southampton will finish 4th. Leicester will win it, in my opinion. And it's a toss up between Ipswich and Leeds, who get 2nd and 3rd.
It's fair enough. Well,
4 points behind Coventry.
Guys, you'll be happy to know that that's the end of my questioning. It wasn't that bad, now was it?
No, good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I said to you that it's just so people can get to know who you are and stuff like that, and get to know you. I mean, obviously your Leeds people, they know you, so I don't know whether they found out anything new from you today. But the people from Tottenham, from our supporters and stuff like that, it'd be good for them to understand. And what it is, I've got one question that's asked by audio, which I've starred. And you got this comment coming in from Stevie D. It says, interesting listening this. Some people on social media demanding trophies for Spurs have no idea how big Leeds are, and so many clubs like them, proper club with a proper history. That's coming in from Stevie D. So yeah, thank you for the comment, Steve D. Right, so yeah, it's your chance to ask questions, and the first question I've got for you guys is come in from Audio Artisan, and it's for both of you, and is there any gems in the Championship you'd like to take to the Prem with you if you get promoted?
I like Morgan Whittaker at Plymouth. Kieran Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah, but if Leicester get promoted, there's no.
I want that striker from Blackburn.
Middlesbrough. I thought you were going to say Middlesbrough.
No, that's Sabotsayer, whatever it's called. Sabias or something, whatever it's called. It's leading top goal scorer. That's the only reason why I want him, because he's a goal scorer, and Leeds need a goal scorer.
I know what you're on about. Oh, he's got that funny name. Oh, Sammy Semabodix. I'm sorry if I've butchered his name. That's who you mean.
Sammy Semabodix. Yeah. That's it.
I'm sorry if I butchered his name.
Sammy Semabodix. Yeah, Blackburn striker.
Right, so they're the only ones, because I can think of some players.
We've done a few watch-alongs, haven't we, Jess? Let's be honest. So we should be able to think of some
Cavallo
names.
at Hull. I know he's at Liverpool, but I won't
buy
the
other player at Hull? Philogene.
Yeah. Like Philogene, good player.
He's being looked at by a lot of people at the moment, so Philogene looks like a gem to me. Audio saying there's a lad called Tanganga at Millwall.
He's on loan from Tottenham, isn't he?
Yeah. It's a Spurs player, isn't it? Is he on loan?
What about Bellingham? Stuart Sunderland then.
Joe Bellingham.
Yeah,
well, I hope he doesn't have a good game against us on tomorrow night, I tell you.
And Jack Clark will come back to haunt us tomorrow, Stuart.
Well, we got rid of him, didn't we? We got rid of him at Tottenham.
And if Cooper's at centre back,
you know, that would a dodgy sale, that, because I didn't see that coming. I didn't.
Yeah, because he went to Tottenham, didn't he, for 10 million? That's right, isn't it? I am right in saying that.
he was that game. Remember, he come off and he was physically sick. And that was the last we ever saw of him.
Yeah.
And then Tottenham coming and sweeps him for him and got him.
Did he play for Tottenham?
Who?
Jack Clark.
Jack Clark. I don't think he ever
may-
played a game, did he?
I remember him making a couple of substitute appearances. But he never
What about
started.
him at Preston, Stu? Morgan Whittaker?
Would you take him?
Plymouth
Plymouth.
striker.
Yeah, he's decent. I don't think Leeds will look at Championship though, Stu.
Right, because that's the other thing. I'm not sure whether many people from the from our community actually know, but Leeds are going to be or going to be a cash-rich club.
They've said they'll back us if we go up 49ers, but I don't see us going out, Ozzy, and spending silly amounts of money.
I never said
really
that.
don't.
I never said that. I said you're cash-rich. I never said about spending loads and loads of money, but I'm just saying
They'll
you're
back
cash-rich.
Leeds, and they're going to invest in Ellen Road and stuff if Leeds get back in the Premiership. I think they're astute business-wise to keep it all under their a lot, the 49ers.
A player who did take me fancy, he was Latte Laugh from Middlesbrough. Yeah, he looks impressive. Does that Latte Laugh? He looks really good.
Because you've got someone saying, Marcus is saying, I'd take Liam Miller from Preston.
He had a good game.
He was one who tormented us, wasn't he, on Boxing Day?
You got Danny Rumsey saying Joe Bellingham.
I don't know, but
Smodits, you already said Smodits. That's coming from Allison. Colin Blackshaw says, go get Welbeck from Brighton.
We're on about Championship though.
Yeah, we did say Championship.
I don't think we'd go there, Welbeck from Brighton. I don't think even if we were going for Premier League players, I don't think we could tempt him to leave Brighton to come to Leeds. Got a good setup down at Brighton, haven't they?
What about anybody from Southampton though? If say Southampton missed out, like Kyle Walker-Peters or something. What about Saddard at Norwich, Stu? That central midfield. I know it's midfield, but he's decent. I've been impressed with him. I really have.
No, I don't know how they are now, but you've got the two Armstrongs at Southampton, ain't you?
Yeah, Adam Armstrong, aren't you? Yeah.
And Alan Armstrong and Adam, yeah.
Well, we were linked once upon a time to Che Adams, weren't we?
Yeah.
But I think that ship sailed. I mean, we're always linked with like Ryan Kent as well.
Sargent's another one at Norwich that we were linked with in summer.
Yeah.
Right. Next question you got has come from Danny Rumsey. How many players do you think we sign if we go up?
Whatever I say 5. I'm going to say 5.
Left back.
I don't think. Yeah, left back.
Striker.
Right back.
Right back. What about goalkeeper, Stu? You stick with Mez in Premiership if we go up?
I think they will. I think we need to find a better one, but I think they will. I think we'll give them another opportunity.
I think.
And I was speaking to Danny about this earlier on. I don't think we're gonna. I think Bamford's going to be our starting number 9. I do. I don't think we're going to look for a strike. I don't think we're going to look for a striker.
When we get asked this question, not about going up, but how many we sign in the summer, I always caveat my answer with, we've already got 5 players out on loan. We've got players whose contracts are coming to an end. So you've got to remember, you've got players that are going to be organically, and you're going to try and push out of the club, which then makes room to buy the players that you're going to need. So
Luke Haling's going to go and issue his contract on. Cooper.
Yeah.
Contract finishes because they're contract finished. So that's 3 there that I see they'll get let go.
Byram, I don't think we'll sign Sam Byram on a full. I don't think we'll sign him.
That's 4. Shackleton.
Possibly. Cresswell.
Yeah, that's 6. You could see outgoing.
Firpo.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean,
And then you're
he's
going to
brilliant
say,
going forward, but defensive is awful.
even if Leeds went up, you're going to tell me still that players aren't going to sniff around Somerville, Archie Gray, Pascal
There are two
Crowley,
main assets, you know. There are two
Yeah.
biggest assets. You know, we've sold Sinistera now.
Roberts will
So
go back. The guy from Anthony will go back to Bournemouth.
you well,
That's
he hadn't
eight.
done out. He hadn't really.
No.
He hadn't really done out, has he?
So
So
indeed, that's at least 8 players that are there.
we've named about 7 or
Geldar,
8 players. Yeah,
Sharp.
Geltart probably go.
So the 7 or
There's
8
at
players
least
that
10
you've named,
players.
so you're saying 7 or 8, Jess, you're going up to 10 players, and that's you're talking about players that are leaving the club, yeah?
And
Are any of
Then
these
you've
are
got Stu, all the
ones
players that
out
are
on
out on loan
who we
to
don't
come
want
back
back.
in. Oh, we
Who we
don't want back.
So you're
Wow,
talking
you mean
15
Leeds
players
is
possibly
massive,
going.
massive transfer window, Jose, massive for Leeds
But
this
this
season.
is what I'm saying. Every time that someone asks me the question about a Tottenham question about players, I always caveat it with it depends who we get out the door, because we got 5
Yeah.
out on loan, and them 5 have probably got no chance of playing for Tottenham again. So you want
Rodon.
to you want to sell off them
Rodon.
5. You want to sell off them
Rodon.
5, but then there's some other players that you may not want in your squad from the 25 that are in your squad at the moment. And then when you start looking at that, your numbers dwindle. Because forget the 5 loanees from your 25 squad you got this year, your numbers start dwindling down for the other players that have got to leave the club. So therefore, you've got to be mindful of who you bring in. I don't know what the rules are for the Championship. They're the same as the Premiership, where you have to have 8 homegrown in your squad of 25. But when you get to the Premiership, you have to have 8 homegrown.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different variables to think about when we're thinking about how many players you're going to bring in and how many players you're going to release. There's a lot to think about when you're in the Premiership.
So maybe they might end up keeping the likes of Shackle and then being an homegrown player.
Yeah.
Geltart, he's English, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's Geltart.
Joe Geltart, yeah, he is.
Yeah, Geltart.
What's happened to the boy? What's happened to the boy? I think he was number 42 you had playing at Leeds. Midfielder, really good player. Young boy. I'm sure he wore 42. I might be wrong. He came through with Geltart and all these lot, but I've not seen him this year. I've not seen his name mentioned. He played with Somervilles and all them lot. He's an English.
Greenwood.
That's the one. That's the
He's
one.
at Middlesbrough on loan.
He's at Middlesbrough.
Went out at start season.
I thought he was a decent player. Ooh.
Well, Farker just sees him as a set piece specialist.
Okay. Watching, because Leeds, when you were coming out of the Premiership, you bled a lot of youngsters into your team. There was a lot of young ones that you had in your team then, and he was one of them that I thought was all right. I thought he was a good player.
Well, he brought through at the same time as we brought Geltard through, and oddly enough, neither of them. One of them's gone out on loan, and the other one hasn't even been given a chance.
Geltart's the little small striker, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
He was one who scored us goals in that season where we should have got relegated but didn't.
And how? So your players that you've got out on loan at the moment, how are they doing on their loans? Are their loans worked out for them? Are they doing well on their loans? Are they likely, if they've done well,
Koch
they're
is doing all right, isn't he?
Who?
Koch.
Koch at Frankfurt.
Koch.
I think Berber's doing all right, and he's doing all right where he is.
Sinistera's gone now, even though we're out on loan.
Rocker's doing all right where he is.
Aronson's not doing so good at Berlin.
Aronson's I've got a feeling we're gonna be stuck with him, you know. Paperweight. Yeah, we're gonna be stuck with him.
These are all the players. Some of these are the players that you bought under March.
Yeah.
These are the ones who jumped ship.
Yeah.
And Sinistera will the one who threatened Leeds with legal action
on the last day
at transfer window.
So you got Colin is is very, very optimistic. He says if we go up, we're top 6 next season. Daniel will bring in quality, our best boss in decades.
No
chance.
Sorry,
no chance. You know, and that's another thing as well, isn't it? With Farker, he had a season with Norwich in Premier League and stuff, and it didn't work quite so well for him. But then again, he wasn't backed So that's a bit of an unknown with Farker how he's going to do in Premier League again. So no, I won't go as far as saying 6th, maybe 16th, not 6th.
Is Patrick Roberts Leeds?
No, he's from Burnley.
Okay.
Connor
so-
Roberts. Connor Roberts. He's on loan till end of the season from Burnley.
know,
Then
I
you've got
think
Christian, and yeah, he's at Rome and he's doing all right. Jack Harrison at Everton. Sonny
He wants to
Perkins at
stay at
Oxford.
Everton, doesn't he? He's
Yeah,
desperate to
Cody
stay there.
Drammer.
Isn't he?
There's quite a few, aren't you, Stu, when you look at it, really?
Yeah, you've probably got quite a few out to save you on the wage bill because you've gone down in the Championship, it saves you on the wage bill, don't it? So you don't get clobbered.
Well, they did want to play for a 50% pay cut.
No.
When we got relegated.
No,
Right.
see, they all wanted out, didn't they? As soon as all that they knew, Stu, if we got relegated at Leeds last season. The issue was when we got relegated, they didn't give a fuck because they knew they were going somewhere else. They had it all in the
Yeah,
contract.
they knew that. They had that in a release. They knew about their
Got it.
contract release clauses before Farker even come through door.
I've got a question for you from Spurs GCTV. Graham always throws questions in, right? He says, would you be happy if Leeds lost to Spurs on the last game of the season if it meant Spurs win the title instead of United?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah,
It's on its way safe. Yeah.
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 Indeed.
No love lost between Leeds and Man United, then, is there?
No.
It's like,
No love
do you know, it's like the rivalry we've got with Millwall as well. There's no love lost between Leeds and Millwall either.
Yeah, Leeds, Millwall and Cardiff.
Mm.
3 tasty sides with 3 tasty firms, all in the Championship.
Should see some of them at firms now, though. I bet half of them are pushing along with the walking sticks and stuff these days.
They got the young ones now. They got the young brigades. All these teams.
Oh, you should have. Oh, do you know? I saw. Speaking about young brigades, I saw Bradford City ointment. Younger brigades. They were wearing bloody Bermuda shorts. I thought, what do you look like? My God.
It's nice and sunny at Bradford, isn't it? Peacock Whites of LFUC says, if Leeds got promoted, do you think they will upgrade on Mez? I'm presuming that's your goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I don't think they will because it's not an area where they might do it second season, the season after. But I don't think they'll necessarily spend money on a player where we've already got adequate cover. You know what I mean? Before Meslier had that mare of a second half of the season, when we got relegated, he was tipped to be France's number 1. That's how highly regarded he was. I mean, I think he's got. I've noticed something in Meslier this season. He seems to have got his head sorted out a bit better. He's not making as many mistakes.
Yeah, but Stu, no disrespect to Meslier, right? The shite he had in front of him last season, you can't just pin it all on. You know, Meslier took a lot of flack last season, but did you see the defence he had in front of you? At least this season he's got that stability in front of him. Yeah, it is better when Pascal Stratton Rodon are there, but even when Ampadu plays at centre back, he does look more composed this season. You know what I mean? When you were playing Strauch at left back, Stuart, you know he ain't a left back. I think Mez took a lot of shit last year, like Bamford. It was easy to pin it on certain players.
Bamford was getting a lot of stick, wasn't he? But Bamford was out for 18 months injured.
Yeah, I don't think so, Stu. I think first season we stick with Mez, and maybe the season after if we stay up, if we go up, then maybe because Darlow does not fill me with much confidence as a second backup keeper. I'd rather have Clarkson, Stuart. Yeah. Out of the 2 backups, I'd rather have Clarkson.
Is Darlow ex-Newcastle goalkeeper?
Yes.
What have you signed him now full permanent?
Yeah, we signed him at the start of last season. Permanent.
Okay, so you got him
a couple of cup games.
The player that Meslier was well sought after goalkeeper. There was a lot of people looking at Meslier a couple of seasons back.
Highly regarded he was.
He's 6'4", 6'6". He's a tall keeper, isn't he?
He's only young. He's only young. Then what is he? 23 now or something?
Yeah, he is young because he was young when he was in the Premiership. So he was France under-21 international. Was in the Prem. So, next question you got is from Potato Stew.
Hope so. Hope so. Definitely. I'd buy him. I'd buy him. I'd say I'd buy him tomorrow. As long as price is right, I'll buy him tomorrow. It's been supply. It's been brilliant for us. Honestly, I can't speak highly enough of this guy. I really can't. I think it's been fantastic.
I agree. I'd love him. He's an
The
old-fashioned
amount of
centre back for
covering
me,
he does as
Stu.
well. Yeah,
Mm.
he does a lot of covering. He eats the ground pretty well as well. He's pretty quick getting across as well on cover. He really is. Like him a lot. You know, I was speaking to Stell on our channel a few months ago, and we got talking about Rodon, and he said that he always rated him. It's just he come to Tottenham at the wrong time. He were bought at the wrong time.
Right. And what about you? You definitely buy him as well, Jess.
I like him, Jose. I think he's a really old-fashioned centre back, and like Stuart says, he covers a lot, and he ain't scared of getting a knock to head or all like that. He's a fantastic, or he has been fantastic for us in the Championship. No, he's not proven in the Premiership, but for me, he knows how Daniel Farke plays. He's played with us for the full season, so if we could get him for between 12 and 15, I'd take
I'd
him.
say so. Is it his last year, and he Jose next
Yeah,
year?
next year being his last year. But I
And
think
didn't you pay about 10 for him, Jose? Am I right?
10, 12, about 12, I think we paid. But at the end of the day, I think he's been told, he's one of the players. Okay, so they haven't, I don't think they've told anyone in the first team yet. But because the players are out on loan, the ones that are out on loan, they've been told if they've ever got a future coming back, and they've been told to find other clubs. And I think he's one of the ones that has been told to find himself another club, that Tottenham are prepared to do a deal with someone for him. Now, I know that you guys, and I said this before on your channel, I know that you guys are like, yeah, if Levy don't start going bar for the money, I don't think Levy will. I think Levy wants the deal done. I also think that Ange Postecoglou wants whoever it is at Tottenham, whether it be Langer, Paratici, or whoever it is, for the ins and outs, they want them done quick, because he wants to have all the players that he needs either gone or bought in early in the transfer window, so he can then build for next season and get his like Stu said earlier, for us to get a proper pre-season and not the shambles that we were last season. And so for that, I think that Rodon will go to Leeds. I believe that Rodon is a man of his word, right? And I think Rodon's done well at Leeds. And I think that if I was saying, if you get likes of Crystal Palace, Brentford, and people like that, like middle of the table teams or middle to lower end of the table teams, start going in for him, and Leeds won him, I think he goes to Leeds. Leeds get promoted. He stays with Leeds. I think he's a man of his word, and he'll stay with Leeds. He's enjoyed it. You can see he's a happy person at Leeds, and a happy player. He's a happy player. He's enjoyed playing for Leeds. Fans are happy with him. What isn't there
Yeah.
to like? I think it's a marriage made in heaven, to be honest.
We felt this though that season when we got promoted with Ben White. You know, we had Ben White on loan from Brighton that season. We got promoted, and we thought it'd be a breeze to get him. And Brighton wanted more. He wanted to come to Leeds. He wanted to stay at Leeds, but he wasn't willing to hand in a transfer request. And Brighton wanted, I think they wanted at the time, I think it was £45 million or something. And Leeds just weren't willing to pay that this first season.
He wasn't. He wasn't in his last year of his contract though at Brighton.
But he was surplus to requirements at Brighton. That was what made it worse. We got attached to him, really attached to him.
But then
and
Brighton,
we rode on. We've tried to keep a distance with him.
Look at the other players that Brighton have got, right, and had, right. Brighton will sell them off for a packet, regardless of who they got. They'll sell them off for a packet, and they will go for, because it's their model, and they will go for, yeah, they'll go for blood in the market and try and scrape every penny out of whoever the buying club is. You saw that happen with Caicedo with Chelsea. So it happens with them, but I think it's horses for courses, and I think we're talking about two different players, two different points in time as well, and the clubs that we're talking about and the contracts we're talking about are two totally different ones as well. Because Rodon is in his last year, so and to me, as I said, I think he's happy. My personal opinion, I think he's happy at Leeds. Leeds won him. Deal gets done. He'll happily stay at Leeds. I think he's a man of his word. That's how I take him from what I've seen him in interviews and stuff like that. So I think that Rodon There's a great possibility in my mindset already that Rodon, you go up. With providing you need to go up, Rodon goes to you.
Yeah, because I don't think he'll. I think last I saw, Newcastle was sniffing around him a bit
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
what I was going to say. Would Levy, if say I don't know, Leeds come with a 15 million offer, but then Newcastle gazumped and said we'll give you 20.
I don't know when Can I just tell you now? I don't know when Newcastle will get the money.
Well, that's what I thought. They had to sell Jose to bring him in. I thought they've got to sell some of the better players, Isaac.
I think
they
the
have.
player Isaac and Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only one they might even have to sell a couple of their assets this year. It's madness. It's absolute madness. But they probably are looking to sell a couple of their assets.
Wow.
Because there's rumours as well that people are sniffing around Isaac now as well. So
yeah,
Arsenal. Yeah. Sorry, Jose. No, the Gunners. Aren't they sniffing around him?
I hope not.
Isaac, yeah.
Well, they're
sniffing round him.
Anthony, they're after Tony still, aren't they?
No, apparently now they're after Isaac at Arsenal with that is it Sporting Lisbon's
Gyökeres.
That's it, yeah. Can't pronounce names.
The one that used to play with Coventry.
Yeah. Because it looks like Sporting Lisbon. He's going to Liverpool, and it's going to get announced next week.
We did say that Gusto Rema if Leeds went up and Sheffield United come down from Sheffield.
Weren't they interested in him before last season? He chose to go to Sheffield United, didn't he?
Leeds. That were Archer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Remember an Archer.
But that's because they were going up. That's because Sheffield United were going up, and he left Coventry to go to a team that's going in the Premiership. He didn't want to stay in the Championship, did he? That's probably why he said no, because he wanted to go to the Premiership. But they are one of the teams that look like they're going down, and obviously they've got to prepare for Championship life. They may lose some players as well. It's not unbelievable. It's not unfathomable, because teams that have gone down do end up losing some of their squad.
Yes.
And it depends on their plan on how many players that they're going to lose, doesn't it? So, Ryan G has asked, would you take Jordan James from Birmingham? Now, I haven't got a clue who Jordan James is. So,
isn't he Welsh, 19, Birmingham?
Yeah, good player. Yeah.
He scored 8 goals for him this season. Sure he has. I might be wrong. Somebody correct me in chat if I'm wrong.
He started, didn't he? He started against. He went into squad for Poland again. Wales.
He's a central midfielder, though, isn't he, Stu? Do we need a central midfielder?
Depends on who we're going to lose and who we're going to get back, Jess. We know Farker likes his Welsh players, don't we?
Yeah.
He loves his Welsh players.
If we got him for, say, 5 million, it could be a bargain, because he's only 19, Stuart. Welsh. Scored 8 goals this season for a 19-year-old kid. That ain't bad, Stu, from the central midfield, and he could play defensive midfield.
And at Birmingham as well.
Yeah. And Birmingham aren't safe yet, Stuart. So we could get him at a snip. I'd be interested, yeah.
So that's your answer for that one.
Yeah.
And then Spurs GC TV, I thought, it's not a question, but I thought I'd highlight this because I think it's fair comment. He says, to all the Leeds guys, if you go up, you will have our support unless you're playing us, and maybe Wolves because of Ryan.
Nice one.
So there you go. So you've got our support from the Tottenham side for Leeds. So I just thought I'd star that. And the last question I got that's been put in by the chat is from Meta Football TV, also known as Eye Candy, and also known as Jose's replacement on the channel. If Leeds get promoted, and will we all still be friends when we face each other in the Premiership?
You could be my friend anytime.
Yeah,
indeed. Absolutely. It's all banter, isn't it?
If he just knew his address, it should be on a play over there looking through window at Spy Brigade.
Ring on finger. I
didn't say you couldn't touch. There's not wrong with looking as long as you don't touch.
Indeed. Something nice to look at. Indeed.
It's better than looking at me and Danny Rumsey all week, isn't it?
You know I love you, Stuart.
So they're all the questions that we've got. I've got no other questions in the chat, and I said I was going to go for about an hour and a half, and it's about an hour and a half now. So what I will say,
right.
sorry.
We got through that all right, didn't we, Jess?
Yeah, I knew you would, though. I knew you would.
So Danny doubted my Leeds United knowledge, Danny Rumsey. Do you know what I mean?
But I was saying to you at the end of the day, I did say it's so people can get to know you. Do you know what I mean? From our community, because people from your community probably know you already. So I just wanted to make sure that we got to know you guys. You're two lovely people. As I said, Stu, I've known for a while, and I met Stu. Both Chris and I both met Stu last year. So yeah, so it was good to get you on and get your thoughts around Leeds, so we understand, so we learn a bit about Leeds. I mean, obviously, I had to do a bit of homework, but then my football knowledge, I do follow football, so I know a bit about all the teams. But I had to do a bit of research to make sure that I knew what I was going to talk about tonight with you guys, because I'm not going to turn around and say that I'm going to educate you guys because you guys know about your club. So, but I did have to do a bit of work on it. I'm glad I did. I think it went well. There's another question, but it's not. There's a question you got. Kate from Just the Girl Who Loves Spurs has come in with a question. Good evening, Kate, and she's asked, right, who wins the Champions League? Who wins the Champions League games tomorrow?
Just get fixtures up.
That's what I'm gonna have to do. I think it's
Sorry.
Real Madrid, Man City, in it.
Yeah, so it's Arsenal, Bayern, and Real Madrid, Man City tomorrow.
Okay, so is that the order that they're in? Is Arsenal at home? Okay, Arsenal at
Yes,
home.
Arsenal at home to Bayern and Man City
Okay.
away to Real Madrid.
I think it'll be Arsenal will win at home, probably 2-1. I'm going to go for against Bayern, and then Bayern doing them in the return leg. And I'm going to go Real Madrid 0, Man City 2.
I think Man City. I think Man City aren't quite as good this season, Jose. Real Madrid. It's Bellingham. He's back from he's all right now. He's served his ban and everything, hasn't he?
Yeah, but
He'll be wanting to impress.
I don't think Real Madrid have been putting up trees to be honest either. I just think the Spanish league is what it is this season, and I don't think anyone's run away with it or anything. My personal opinion, that is. But I'm going to go with Arsenal 2-1 win, and then I'm going to go City to win 2-0. What say you, Stu? What are you saying?
Look, Bayern Munich of old, you'd say that Bayern Munich win, wouldn't you? But the problem is they haven't had a good season, have they? Even despite Kane being, what is he on for 40 goals or something now for Bayern Munich this season?
He could get up to 40, I would have thought. Could do.
So, it's. I feel for him. I feel for Kane because he went to a club thinking we were going to win silverware, and he's going to end up winning nothing again. I fancy Arsenal to win 3-1 at home. I really do.
Arsenal to win 3-1 at home. And what about the Real Madrid Man City?
1-0 Man City.
Jess, are you covering any of these games tomorrow?
No, Leeds are playing mate tomorrow night, but somebody will be keeping us updated. But I'm going to go 3-1 to Bayern Munich.
Okay.
And I'm going to go 2-2 draw Real Madrid, Man City.
Ooh, interesting.
It's just how you said no Leeds are playing tomorrow. As if to say, don't worry about the SOD Champions League, Championship Leeds United are playing.
SOD Champions League will be there in 2 years. That's what Leeds have got to be saying now. SOD Champions League will be there in 2 years.
No, 5 years.
2 years.
I've said 6.
You've got Ryan G says Arsenal 2, Bayern 2, Real Madrid 2, City 1. Look at this. Look at this love that's going on, eh?
Smith is a good looking man. I won't lie. Smith is a good looking man.
Just to go, Love Spurs says Arsenal 1-0 win and Real to win 3-1. Chris is just saying Bayern and City for him. Obvious reasons, because one's Arsenal and one's Real. You've got Danny is saying that Man City will beat Real 3-1. Ronnie is coming in with Arsenal 1 Arsenal 1 Kane 2 and Real 2 City 2. Danny's saying that Arsenal will get 4 against Bayern. Ooh. Not if Eric Dyer's playing, he won't. Colin Blackshaw is going, Madrid 3, City 1, Arsenal 3, Munich 0. Tell you what, if the games were that easy, then some teams have done really hard. Have played really hard to get to this stage, and we're making it sound like Arsenal going to easily deal with Bayern Munich. I'm not too sure about that. I think Bayern know this is the only competition they got left. So, Kells is saying Man City over the two legs, Arsenal to lose by the odd goal over both legs. Kate saying Bayern must play a low block to get anything against Arsenal as they have no fans there. Daniel is saying it's going to be sweet when Harry knocks these pricks out of the Champions League. I'm not sure what this means. You guys will know.
Smithy is my Ken.
Barbie and Ken, we were on about this on the stews. What we're going to do is we're going to clip Stacey's head on Barbie and put Smithy's head on Ken. So it's Stacey and Smithy instead of Barbie and Ken.
Okay, right, fair enough. I was just trying to catch up with what's going on. Graham is saying Madrid 2, City 2, and Arsenal 0, Bayern 10. So you can see there's a bit of bias here in the chat for Bayern.
So why is there so much hatred between you and Arsenal?
I think you might be asking the wrong person, to be honest, because hate is a real big word to use, but why
is there such a big rivalry then?
My nemesis is Chelsea. I have more, whatever you want to call it, for Chelsea than what I do for Arsenal.
Right.
That's me personally, but others have it for Arsenal. Arsenal are from Southeast London. They came, it's like they said on the stream the other night, they were inducted into the old First Division when they formed the First Division. Tottenham were bottom of the division then, Division 1 or whatever it was before they did the old First Division. And Arsenal was sixth, but because in the second division, but because one of their guys sat on the board, they decided to make a decision on relegating Tottenham and putting Arsenal from sixth place, putting them straight into the top league, and Arsenal have remained there ever since. So it was all to do with one of the Arsenal people in the FA. But they are from South East London. They originate from Woolwich. They then moved across to North London, and they now call themselves the North Londoners, where the original North Londoners are Tottenham Hotspur.
Right.
So that's where it all comes from. So
I love Kate's explanation.
Yeah, she's Arsenal South London club from Woolwich Arsenal. They came to our part of London, the scumbags. But Smithy's saying that for you, look, Jose sent Adrian the link for the Arsenal question. Yeah, we did say at the back that we didn't want to be in here all night. We only wanted to do about an hour and a half. So had we brought Adrian on, we'd still be here at 3 o'clock in the morning, and Jess would have to say to me, Jose, cut the stream.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let me have a look. Right. So with that, I've plugged the channels in here. So for the people that haven't done so already, God, I plugged them in here, and now people have put the scores in there. I've plugged the channels in for these two lovely people. So can people please go over, if you haven't done so already, please go over and support Jessie, lovely Jessie, at JSY Talks Football. So a bit about Jessie's channel. Jessie, tell us about your channel, what you do and what the channel's about.
We do a lot of football watch-alongs on our channels. We are all Leeds based, but we do different watch-alongs every night. Usually do it with ladies, Stuart and Lee. We do some different kind of shows, previews, reviews, transfer report, watch-alongs, Saturday Night Live, quizzes. It's a bit of light-hearted fun on my channel. We do serious shows, but we try to include everybody and offer a bit of diversity in there. All fans are welcome. Everybody's welcome. It's a lovely community. So if you haven't checked me out already, please do indeed.
Yes, go over to JSY Talks Football. We're trying to get Jessie over the 500 mark, so to reach her first YouTube milestone on 500. So please, if you can, and you find it within your gift, then please go over and subscribe to Jessie Talks Football. She is a wonderful, wonderful human being. So help her out. and another wonderful human being, Stewie at the disabled team. Tell us about you, Stewie, your channel.
I was speaking to Jess about this earlier on, and I'm going to have to revive the channel because it was so me and Lee could spend time together to build Lee's confidence. That's the only reason why we formed it. But we didn't expect it to do anything. We really didn't. But now Lee's got his own channel. He's gone his own direction. He's gained a lot more confidence than I thought he was going to get. If I'm honest with you. So now it disabled him. I'm stuck on what it stands for now because it's gained what it's it's surpassed itself, shall we say? You know, it would to gain Lee some confidence, and he's got. I didn't think he'd get this confident doing YouTube, where he wants his own channel. You know, and he's got his own channel. He's doing well with it. So yeah, it's the disabled team. It were basically just for Lee to gain confidence. That's all it was for. That was the sole purpose of it.
So for people that don't know, Stuart has a disability, and so does his son Lee. So you created a channel for you both, like you said, to gain confidence for his son Lee. And you've reached a stage now where Lee's now started his channel. So are you going to be doing anything with your disabled team channel, or?
Well, I'm going to have to think about it over summer, over pre-season, because I think you've got to have goals, also, when you're doing a channel. Yeah. And the only goal I had was that one goal, and now we've reached that one goal. I'm going to have to think of some more.
I'm just going to put. Let me just do it now.
I think we've got a nice thing out with me, you and Lee, Stu. We all
of course, yeah.
We're like family, aren't we?
So what I've done is because of what you've just said as well. So what we'll do is we'll throw in Lee's channel in there as well. So Stu's son Lee, who's just starting out on YouTube himself, can be found here at Lee Statham TV. So please go over, and if you haven't done so already, please go and subscribe over to Lee. We are, at the end of the day, we are all small content creators. We're not the big juggernauts that are out there. And, you know, it's nice if we can all support each other's channels. So, yeah, please go out and do it. And for the mods out there, I see there's a couple of mods there. If you want to put your channels in now, I'll bring your channels up as well if you want to put them in there, and we'll try and get you some subs from this show. It'd be really nice if people go sub over to their channels as well. So you got Lee Statham TV, Jesse Talks Football, you got the disabled team, and there might be if there's still a couple of mods in here who've got their own channels. If you just put them up now, I'll bring them up.
So regarding your mods, Chris, it's Meta Football Channel. Is he going to be doing a lot of content on that?
Yes, Chris is starting up already. Chris is starting up.
Brilliant.
Chris is starting up on shorts. Chris is going to come back again like he was in the summer when he started out at the same time as me. So Chris will be going out and he's going to start doing stuff. I think he's doing his planning and stuff like that. And Chris, I mean, I'm speaking for Chris, but I think Chris starts and we'll be doing it in starting next week. I think is when he starts, the 18th or something. I said he was telling me he's going to start on the 18th.
Brilliant.
Looking forward to it, Chris.
So Chris will be starting. Chris will be starting his own.
You don't need a filter now, Jess. You can turn your filter off. You've gone that red.
Chris, you might have to do a football show one night, and then another night it might have to be a striptease or something. I don't know. Just saying.
Celebrate a blind date with all other channel members.
I'll donate.
Chris, can you put your channel in? Because if you put your channel in, I can bring it up on screen before we close the show off, so people can sub over to you as well. And if Kate's still here, Kate, put your channel on as well, and I can then get your channel plugged as well. But yeah, where are we going to find you next, Jess? And it's tomorrow night, isn't it? You're going to be on next.
Yeah, I'll be doing Leeds Utd Watch Along on my channel with a few guests. Puppy will be making his debut as well tomorrow night on mine. So if
Who?
you're about and you enjoy Puppy, there's
Puppy?
one at Leeds fans going to come on. It's his first time on. He's going to do a watch on with us. So yeah,
Is he
Stacey will
not the
be on
big?
as
Is he
well.
not the big guy that I saw Saturday or Sunday or even Sunday? Was he not?
Yeah, he did the Tottenham game with us. He come on and did
Yeah,
a bit of
he was
Tottenham
a
game.
big fella. I thought I saw him. Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
So we'll be doing Leeds United watch on tomorrow over on my channel. So if anybody wants to check us out, I'll follow up on Leeds, and we'll be doing alt rest at scores as well.
What time are
Check
you on
us
tomorrow,
out.
Jess?
I think 7:20. I've got it scheduled for Jose.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So there we go. So, and where are you going to be found next, Stu?
Well, you can find. I'm going to be jumping on with Jess after the Leeds game tomorrow night on JSY Talks Football.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll be on Jess's channel tomorrow night after the game.
Cool.
Giving his
Cool.
match reaction.
And then you've got
Lee'll have some reviews this week as well. Won't he, coming out that Saturday game with
Yeah,
Blackburn?
he does this. Yeah, we'll be doing another live review on his channel. Me, you, Kelt, and Danny. We'll be there doing his review. I mean, he starts as a review, a preview, but then we don't know what it goes into after that.
Okay,
It just gets lost in translation. A bit like your Saturday Night Lives, Jess. You know, it's all good fun. It's all good fun, and that's what it should be about.
Indeed.
So you've got Chris Meta Football at Meta Football TV. It's just
Check this
his
guy
channel.
out. Check him out.
Please check him.
Have a look. Yeah, have a look at Chris.
Go and hit him a sub up. Everybody
Yeah.
in mind from here, go and hit him a sub up, yeah?
Yeah, just go and show Chris some love as he starts back up on his journey again. And then also Smithy's put in Kate's channel. So Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. And on her channel, it's her and her husband, Jim, and also Ellie, who part-times on my channel for me. And Ellie, we've lost Ash, and it looks like we might lose Ash for up to a year. And Ash's show that she did on Wednesday and Friday, she did one with Chang on a Wednesday and one with Ellie on a Friday. Well, Ellie and Chang have agreed to continue doing the shows together on Wednesday and Friday mornings on LTEL for 11 o'clock. So that means them shows won't die. They'll continue. Just got two different people presenting it who come together until we can get our Ash back. So, what's he saying here? News? What? News. I've just created my own OnlyFans account.
I'll be across. Get me a link.
Oh, yeah. I'm off to sub to Chris, Stacey said.
I bet she is. Cut it in half.
Oh, my Lord. Right, listen. Thank you very much, everybody. Sorry, to everybody in the chat, but yeah, thank you very much to Jesse and to Stu for coming on tonight and answering the questions. I hope they haven't found it too taxing. I said I wouldn't make it taxing. I've certainly found out some things about them today, and I'm hoping that the community found out some things about them today as well. They are two really, really lovely people in the community. So thank you both very much for coming on. And all you guys in the chat have been commenting away. Sorry I didn't get to every comment because there were so many. And obviously I was asking questions and I couldn't run the chat and do the questions at the same time. Because if I did that, then we'd be here till 5 a.m. So we weren't going to do that one today. And sorry, just before I go, Colin Blackshaw's asked me, Jose, will you get fourth place over Villa? 110% we will do that. 110%. So without further ado, I'm going to say good night to everyone. And it's good night from me and these two. But these two you will catch tomorrow night on Jesse Talks Football. And yeah, keep supporting these channels, please. And thank you all for coming on. Good night, everyone.
My team has got James Madison. James Madison is what we need. Whoa, thank God we got James Madison. This kid plays ball like you would never believe. Whoa.